The CJ is not accorded the respect due to his office in quite a number of state functions. CSS and PSS are cleared to enter State House before the CJ. The CJ has got to wait. The last Masuja day, the CJ was allowed to walk to the dais through a sidewalk. And the MC did not acknowledge his arrival, but he did it to other people. I have decided that unless I'm treated with the dignity due to my office, I will choose which of those state functions I will attend. I'm told that the VIP lounge at the JKA on the ground floor is locked, is permanently locked. I'm told it is reserved for the DP. I doubt if the DP is even aware of that. I go to the JKA and use the KQ lounge. And by the way, I enjoyed the company of the passengers I get there. We laugh and talk very well. I'm not bothered about that. My problem is this. There are times I receive very, very important visitors. I have received fellow Chief Justices coming to this country. Where do you want me to take them? When I was flying last year, I was flying with one of the CJs who came at my request as an official. On official duty, and I had to go to the KQ lounge with him because it was crowded. Somebody had to vacate a seat for him. When I go to other countries, I'm treated very well, and I wonder what happens in my own country. CJs, and not only myself, CJs are treated in the same way. Here we have, a lounge locked, and we are told, look, that one you can't access. I don't know whether we can spend so much money to build a lounge, left there locked for years on end. When the visitors of the stature of the Chief Justice come to this country, on official invitation, my understanding is that they are not just visitors of the host CJ. They are visitors of the country. Last year in May, I had 5 CJs from East Africa on what we call the CJs Forum. We requested for the protocol cars. You have seen them. The Mercedes protocol cars which transport official and high-ranking visitors. They were not available to us. We transported the CJs in those kind of cars you see there to those places where they are going. Literally every day I receive letters written by, I believe, clerks in offices for the permanent secretary for the CS. That's how the CJ is treated. A clerk is the one who addresses the CJ. I read most of those letters. I'm told that some CSS and the PSS are bragging that the CJ will or should be removed before the end of this year. Really? Kumbe hii nchi kuna wenyewe. Some of us are serving at their pleasure. Let me tell you, my friends, The CJ is here exercising the mandate given to him by the Kenyan people. I am not serving at the pleasure of an SES or a PS. Let me also talk about some things that have caused a lot of friction with the other government agencies. You know of tender cases. They come to court and the judiciary doesn't go out there looking for cases. Cases are brought to us. And when we deal with them and decide them, you hear people shouting out there that the judiciary is not allowing the government to operate. As I said, we don't go looking for those cases. The people who are complaining out there, if you care to search, you will find that it is the CSS and the PSS and other senior government officers and their cronies who are behind those tenders. The president said sometimes back that the tenderpreneurs, most of them are in his office. But to be fair to the office of the president, those tenderpreneurs are everywhere, including even the public sector. These are the people who are trying to cripple the judiciary. I'm told these are the people I'm supposed to go and talk to give me money to run the judiciary. Am I being done a favor? Ladies and gentlemen, am I being done a favor? We're talking about public funds for service to the Kenyan people. I will not go to anybody. They are even bragging that they want again to have the judges and magistrates vetted. Very well. Let me tell you, we are not going to allow that to happen. It will only happen if it is countrywide, and it starts because we have been vetted twice. Let it start from the other arms of government before they come to the judiciary. We are tired of being the punching bag all the time. The judiciary is not interested and does not interfere with the affairs of other arms of government. Why are they interested and interfering with our affairs? You want me to tell you why? They want to control the judiciary. They want to control the judiciary. They want to make the judiciary a puppet. We can't do that. Let me say something about the court decrees against the government. The government should lead by example. It should be the first one to obey the law. It should not be the one leading in impunity. Right now, as I speak, we have hundreds of millions of decrees against the government. Some of them, I get pained, are pitiable cases. Somebody has been injured by a government vehicle and he has been awarded damages. As if to hit at the judiciary, nobody wants to pay those damages. Poor people, some of them I saw in the media. Somebody, a paraplegic, is carried from his house to be taken to bask in the sun. If there is nobody to carry him back, he will be rained on out there. And we are supposed to be a country which takes care of or is mindful of its own people's welfare. Understand me well. I'm not saying that the government has endless resources to pay everything. But if judgments have been made against the government has not appealed, or the government has appealed and the case has been dismissed, arrangements should be made to pay those judgments. That's what happens in civilized nations. But when we ask, I had a delegation of lawyers from Meru, all of them coming to tell me do something about it, and I told them there's nothing I can do. The courts have made their decision. There's nothing I can do. I'm not saying that those decrees be settled in 1 year. Let arrangements be made to settle them gradually. I'm finishing. On corruption, I want to say that I'm 100%. I've said this before. I'm 100% with the president. And I want to appeal to the Kenyans. I know you want the criminals, the corrupt criminals behind bars. That has got to be done through due process. The number of accused persons sometimes in a case, the volume of documentation that is to be produced, the number of witnesses, the lawyers involved, there is no way we can, we can do those cases in a day or two and finish. I have 10 magistrates sitting in Milimani dealing with those cases on a day-to-day basis. In spite of very, very difficult circumstances they are operating in. Please, Kenyans, be patient. The rule of law has to be followed, and I want you to be fair to the judiciary and even to the DPP. The DPP especially is the one who has had a lot of bashing that he has done nothing. The DPP has brought those cases to court, and we are going on with them. Go to even other countries, you will see that those kinds of cases take a long, long time before they are concluded. So please bear with us. We are going to deal with those cases. But what I'm saying is the kind of talk I've said, I've seen that the judiciary is the weak link. Please, and some of it is coming from very, very important personalities in this country, as if they don't know how the courts operate. Please bear with us. Due process has to be followed so that we finalize. Let the DPP do his work, let the police do his work, and we will do ours. If there is evidence, we will convict. If there is no evidence, we will acquit, and they will go home. I want to assure the judges and the judicial officers that I'm not going to allow them to be attacked unfairly. I will defend them because that's my duty to defend them. All I'm doing, and I'm appealing to them, please stand up for Kenya and do the right thing. But if you're involved in anything fishy, I will be the first one to expose you. Let the other arms of government perform their duties. Don't interfere unless it is within your jurisdiction to interfere. We have, for instance, no business interfering with the transfer of police officers by the Commissioner of Police.